I think that if you knew me when I was younger, you would never expect that I'd ever be hit by a mental illness. I was a normal, happy kid with dreams of growing up and becoming a mommy and a nurse and a ballerina and an astronaut and going out into space and discovering new things like aliens or a new planet or something. I would laugh and play, and I was just so happy and outgoing and crazy, and I didn't care much about what others said. I was just happy with myself. People had said mean things to me before, but I had tried to let them roll off my shoulders. I was happy with myself, and I wasn't going to let anyone change that. Then 7th grade rolled around. The happy, loud, energetic, confident little girl began to disappear, and soon enough, I started to dislike myself. I wasn't pretty or skinny like all the other girls, and those small comments and actions really began to affect me. I could no longer let them roll off my shoulders like before. I began having the negative comments go round and around and around in my head, and they would raise and they wouldn't leave me alone, and I couldn't make them stop. I didn't know how to, and I didn't know who to turn to, so I felt so alone and so lonely. I began hating myself. I felt disgusted with what I saw in the mirror. Then on December 24, 2011, my grandfather passed away, which only made things worse for me. I couldn't take the emotional pain. I was aching everywhere all day and every day, and I just couldn't bear it anymore. I didn't know what to do or who to turn to, so one night I took a blade and I self-harmed. I needed that physical release. I needed a way to cope, and self-harm is what I turned to. I started having to wear long sleeves and change in the bathroom for gym class. I began to hide. I tried hiding the physical and emotional pain I was in, but it was just so hard. I began to feel hopeless, like there was no point to life anymore. What was I doing in a world where I felt like I didn't belong? I just wanted to end it. I just wanted it to be calm for once. I didn't see the point of being alive anymore. So January 2012 was the first time I considered suicide. And that was only the beginning of a long journey full of adversity and hardships. In the 8th grade, things kept getting worse and worse, and they were just spiraling out of control. And my parents eventually thought it'd be good to seek professional help. There I was diagnosed with a major depressive disorder. We use depression all the time to describe feelings of temporary sadness. Oh, I'm so depressed. But are you really depressed? For someone battling depression, it's much more than something you feel for a day or two. They battle with it every day for a long period of time, sometimes for their entire life. It's not just something you wake up one day and it's gone. I thought that by taking the medicine I was prescribed, I'd be better. I thought all it took was some pills and some talking and I'd be back to normal. but I was just so wrong. Doctors don't always get it right the first time. I would feel better for a week, maybe even a month, when I'd crash back down, and each crash was worse than the previous. Soon 8th grade became freshman year, and freshman year became sophomore year. And I thought my sophomore year, this year, would finally be the year I'd be better. However, it didn't go as planned. Early September 2014 was the second time I contemplated suicide. I was hospitalized for 10 days. Then November came, and again, those suicidal thoughts just wouldn't leave me alone. They wouldn't stop. They wouldn't go away. This time I was hospitalized for 6 days, and I was also diagnosed with social anxiety, which would explain the panic attacks and always having that fear of being judged and embarrassed by others. " 2015 began, and I was sure this was my year. It was my year to be good. I was sure I had good depressions, but I was sure I had overcome it. I was just so sure of it. I thought I was done being in the hospital, and again, I was just so wrong. March 3rd, I was hospitalized again for 6 days for having suicidal thoughts. And 3 days after being discharged, I returned to the hospital for the same thing, and this time for 16 days. That was the longest I had ever been in a hospital. This time around, I was diagnosed with bipolar 2 disorder. This explained why I would feel on top of the world one day, and the next day I just wanted to die. If there's something I have learned throughout my entire journey, is that recovery is possible. There's so many people that are living proof of it, and one day I'll be living proof too. Some people just need more help than others, and other people's recoveries take longer than others because each person is different and unique. I'm in the process, and that's okay. I'm still working on getting better, but I'm trying and I'm fighting, and I'm not giving up anymore. I have a purpose in this life, and I'm going to find it and fulfill it. One day I heard a song by One Republic called I Lived. The lyrics go a little like this. I did it all. I owned every second that this world could give. I saw so many places, the things that I did. With every broken bone, I swear I lived. And this song will ever stay close to my heart. When the time comes, I'm going to be able to say that I did it all, that I lived. I learned that no matter how many hardships and what seem like insurmountable obstacles we face, we can never give up. We have to keep fighting because it will get better. As my coach once said, this too shall pass. It's okay to ask for help. Asking for help is the best thing you can do. Without help, everything will seem so much darker and harder and more hopeless. Asking for help is not a sign of weakness. On the contrary, it means you're brave. You're brave enough to admit you can't do it on your own. Shows you want to get better and that you're fighting and trying. Whether you're fighting depression, bipolar disorder, anxiety and eating disorder, or schizophrenia, ADHD, or any other mental illness, don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to live your life and feel okay. But most of all, never, ever give up. If you know somebody who's battling with a mental health condition, offer them a helping hand. Give them the support, understanding, and love that they need. Show them that you care. I realized that it's time to start living my life to the fullest. I realized I have goals, and to reach them I have to be alive and healthy. Adversity and hardships are going to be a part of the journey, but in the end it's going to be worth it. This can still be my year, and I'm gonna work hard at it. I challenge you to start living. I challenge you to ask for help and help others if you know they're in need. And when I say start living, I don't mean to just be alive. I mean to live, not just go through the motions of life. I hope you take the challenge and you find something that you love, you find your purpose, and you go after it and fulfill it. It's time to start living life. It's time to start loving what you do and who you are. It's time to take the stigma against mental health and illnesses down. It's time to start living.